is Savage Annie with Into the Pit with Annie. I am here with Malignancy. Gents, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
What's up? This is Ron Kachnic, guitar player for Malignancy.
Monty Mukerji, bass guitar.
Clearly he's the fun one, and you're just the quiet one that's here for face value. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just here.
That's cool. They can't see my
Support
facial
Into the
expression.
Pit. Fucking awesome.
Throwing me off, man. Too much enthusiasm. I'm kidding. It's great. I love it. First of all, thank you guys for being willing to do this, even a day after the fact. So, how was last night for you guys?
I mean, the beef was great. The Italian beef was absolutely great. We had it at Bona's on the street, and you never get full dipped. Always get the traditional. It's a single half a dip, and you can add extra later, and always get the hot peppers, hot Chardonnay.
Are you talking about a Chicago dog?
So, no, talking about the Italian beef.
He loves food.
Okay.
You know, so I mean, so
Starting off with fucking food.
it was really good yesterday, and I mean, before we even got to hit the stage, you got to, experience Chicago, and I don't want to eat lasagna cake before I take the stage.
Classic New Yorker right here.
But we thank Miguel for putting on another great Chicago Domination Fest. And all the bands were very amazing, and like always, death metal scene, no fights, no any kind of problems. These type of shows should keep on happening, and the town should support it. You know,
The fans are the best.
Having been in the scene for almost 30 years now, as a band that started in the early 90s, not aging you guys at all, no. What are some of the things, the changes that you've observed, good or bad, in the music scene, particularly with underground and metal?
For me is that watching rich hipsters afford apartments in Brooklyn to make a scene that's a make-believe scene. And take this, I'm not saying stoner rock anymore, but the doom and Dreshy Doom, or just doom stoner rock and doomy stuff, to take it to the level it's at. To me, it already happened. I love Black Sabbath, and I've been through this already when I was a little kid, and I don't want to do it all over again. I'm not into the rehashing of sounds. I want sounds to evolve. And for me, when the scene keeps rehashing, it kind of gets kind of lame to me. That's
So you feel like that kind of gets stagnant a little bit?
I like seeing the next wave of what's going to happen, but to take it to the next level of music. And there's bands doing that.
Possibly my favorite answer to this question.
There's bands that are doing that, whether it be deathcore bands with or not deathcore sounding anymore. Now they've moved on. They're doing all kinds of other stuff. And newer death metal bands, I'll name just Arch Spires. A lot of people bite on the drummer. Who cares if he can't play regular drums? He's playing something unique, futuristic. I like that. I like Worm. I just like the future of futuristic sound. And thrash, we have Vector now. They're taking on the Voivod sound. And the new Voivod, best album last year was the Voivod. The best album this year is the new Possessed. So make sure you purchase the Possessed. Greatest, most evil vocals Jeff has ever done.
It's like the camera's invisible. It's okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
And death metal in general, I gotta tell you, I'm not seeing leaps and bounds. I'm seeing too many bands coming out, and the scene getting oversaturated with slam now. Slam is the thing. I've liked slam since the beginning, but we never called it slam. We called it beatdown, and it came from the Boogie Down Bronx.
I feel like the terms evolve over time, so it's the same concept. It's just they renamed it, kind of like slang with kids now.
Rebranded it. Yes.
I can't even keep track.
But one thing I love is the youth. I see little young kids. Death metal is bigger than it's ever been. This band opened up for Malignancy in Queens, Blackthorn 51, that they were so young, yet they fucking were playing like advanced, almost technical death metal. They were pretty advanced. They reminded me of older Morbid Angel, but it's played with today's style. And these little lads, they says, "Oh, we just opened up for Death Angel." So we're small cakes. This is great. And they were only 16 years old, and they stayed to the whole show. I love when an opening band that opened up for a death metal show doesn't have their soccer mom take them home because they got a date, And then, look, and they actually get to see the whole show and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I like that youth is, they have all the tools. They have the YouTube. We never had any of that. And it's very easy for them to think and learn now.
They also have all these great music distribution platforms that a lot of bands earlier on didn't have.
Accessible now.
Yeah.
It's not more accessible.
Streaming wise, it's more accessible. CD wise, I've noticed that a lot of younger bands have stopped doing hard copy CDs because a lot of people don't buy them at shows. They just stick with a T-shirt.
Yep.
But I love CDs. I want them to keep coming. But I know they're costly. Yeah. I want something that I can be like, hey, I'm gonna let you borrow this. Not, hey, I'm gonna let you rip this.
Or make a mixtape.
I like the smell of the fresh print.
Remember when tape trading was a thing?
Absolutely.
It's still kind of a thing for collectors in Europe, but it's not really a big thing in the States anymore. That needs to come back.
I would always wonder, our first time we played Louisiana, we were on tour at Goldcore in like 2000. And,
Oh, they're so good.
I couldn't believe that there was Oriental fans of the older demo band I had called Dysfunction that were at the show with physical tapes that I made in the 1993.
Asia has like
was like,
this
wow.
it's like a
So tape
niche
trade.
out there to tape trade. Like they find music and they fucking latch on to it.
It's awesome.
Like the passion of that. Like we need to get that back. Not that there's a lack here in the States. It's just not quite at that level. All right. Well, you guys played through Intrauterine. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Cannibalism last night.
It's your uterine.
Intrauterine. Yeah. Okay. Don't mind me. I can't speak after 3 days of this shit. How was it to play that older material all the way through?
It is. It's not as nerve-wracking as it was at Maryland Death Fest, because at Maryland Death Fest we never played it. That was the first time doing it. So
this was at round 2.
this is just
Round.
three. This is about round 3.
Yeah.
So
Best round.
this was the best round because now we're really good at it. And
What are our four?
We've been doing this for almost 30 years, but we were shit at it
Right.
Well, it's
two
actually-
shows ago.
our session drummer Alex Cohen, great drummer, but he had to learn it. He only knew 2 or 3 of these songs, so he had to learn 7 fresh tracks. Monty had to learn 7 fresh tracks. Danny and I had to relearn them. So it was cool, like this cool process, and I enjoy playing them so much that not the next Malignancy album because we already wrote it, but the next Malignancy album might have more.
in the future.
Might have more groove in it because we used to mix groove, beat down, what I called it. They call slam now. We used to mix it all and with some grind back then, but it was more groove. So it kind of took me back. I like it, but I'm still into futuristic. We'll see. I don't know.
Strangest thing you have ever found on stage or had thrown on stage during a performance?
Strangest thing.
I love the answers to this one, so I've been asking multiple bands this one.
Strangest thing going on stage. Wow.
For me, Danny always has strange things anyway. It's just like in a bag, like he always has props. So I'll let him answer the question.
I've gotten everything from double-sided dildos to like pig intestines.
We never had any of that crazy stuff. The scene's been good to us, and they've thrown joints on stage, and it's not weird. I love them, But man, nothing weird. I guess the weirdest stuff is trying to make us a grind band now. In Canada, they throw life rafts, chicken suits, and anything to do with the grind scene. It's because I guess since we played Obscene Extreme the first time, and then we played Obscene Extreme Mexico, we're kind of like get associated with grind bands, even though we're just technical death. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. We get props thrown at us now.
I feel like a lot of the subgenres of metal are pretty interchangeable. There are parts that can apply to multiple subgenres in any one album. So to categorize a band is really difficult nowadays with the progression of where the genre in metal in general has evolved. What is in the future for Malignancy? You said something about a next album. So let's hear it. What's the spiel?
We have 12 tracks written, and just demoed lightly, you know. So the drums have to be recorded. Monty and I have to go in and then record our guitars and make it happen. So we're waiting on Mr. Mike Heller, aka drummer of Raven, aka drummer of Fear Factory, aka drummer of Malignancy when he has time. So we need him to make the time.
Oh, that's great.
We need him to make the time to record these drums for us because we like keeping Mike as our writing drummer in the band, even though he's not available to play with us all the time. So it's a work in progress, and it's gonna happen. And then after that, we already started writing newer stuff. So
Nice.
Malignancy's not gonna end until like we can't physically play anymore because we're too old.
Right.
So
Until my body breaks down.
I can't discuss the upcoming stuff we have that's going to be booked for next year, but all I can say is we'll be heading over the pond next year. Once again, over the pond.
So what I'm hearing that you can't say it, but I can do whatever the fuck I want is international tour, baby. You would what?
And if it works out how it's supposed to work out, it's with the all the bands in our genre that a couple of the big heavyweights that everybody likes to see. So
Awesome.
it should be very nice.
Advice for younger bands?
Oh, here we go.
This is the loaded question.
Keep promoting. Just keep.
Right now,
make your name out
it's
there.
totally different ball game. Every day, once a week, or twice a week, or 3 times a week, I have to make sure my endorsees are pumped. I have to pump GHS strings, Blackheart guitars, Positive Grid, EMG pickups, Cruelty cabinets, and besides that, I have to pump this band. And
So what you're saying is having endorsements is not you just sit there after you get endorsed. It's work.
This is work, and if you want to have if you want companies to give you stuff to go on tour and play their stuff and show it off, you still have to promote for that. That's not enough. You know, they need that back from you, and I don't blame them. If you're gonna give us free stuff, we will promote the shit out of it.
Yeah.
So to all the young bands out there, don't waste your money trying to buy on a tour. That's like I see a lot of bands doing that. The bands that actually make it don't do that. You know.
Shameless self-marketing.
Yeah, don't do that.
If you're at a
Pump
show,
everything in to try to make sure your recordings
Yeah.
sound the best.
Yeah.
Do not release your first album until it's perfect, because once you release that first album, that's it. Your name, you'd have to form a whole nother band once if you get reviewed shit.
assholes like me will call you out on your shit. Yeah.
It's not, don't never go by reviews, but if the fans don't support it and they don't like it, you know, I mean, you got to make sure your first shit is the best shit, and then from there, good luck writing the second one that has to match it, because
Yeah.
that's where all the work is. After
Well,
your first
once
one.
you got that great reviewed album, she could have walked behind the cameras, whatever.
Other advice: invest in a road van. Don't rent. Like, we've been through this, and we're still old and still like deciding like, did we make the right move? For the last 20 years, we invested. We had a van for 20 years that's helped this band actually just not even break even, make money, because we don't have to rent a van every time to do a show. So invest in your van.
Sorry, we're jamming out right
What
now.
else? That's the main thing there. If you're going to be a touring band.
Yeah. Awesome. Any up-and-coming underground bands, aside from the ones you mentioned before, out of New York or otherwise, that metal fans should keep an eye out for?
Outside of New York, or in the New York scene?
In New York, outside of New York, if something pops up in your head, like, there's always some band I don't know about.
Yeah, well, there's a
There's a shit ton.
there's a shit ton right now, but it all depends. Like, if you really like that Entombed style, you know, there's so many bands coming out, like Full of Hell and Gate Creeper. Like, if you like that really entomby, dirty style, they're out of Arizona. They're a good band to catch. If you like beatdown, that's what I call it, not slam. There's one band from the Midwest, Knock Loose. The vocals are very jappy, but the guitar sound is great. And it's a great beatdown band. Out of New York, Car Bomb is blowing up again. Car Bomb is like it's an advanced groove, like the Animals' Leaders style band. Old style band from New York, from Long Island, that just came out with another album, Sick, Afterbirth. And the best newer band from New York, Artificial Brain from Long Island, they're doing atmospheric death metal. And it's our boy Will and one of the guitar players from Revocation. They're unique sounds, you know, so it's not the same old death metal. They got like this cool atmosphere going on, robotic shit, so down with that because it's futuristic death metal.
We love the future.
Out in Europe, Cranium, Cytotoxin, who else? There's so many.
You can send me a list in anybody.
Yeah. But I shit, man. Foaming from the Mouth, Arm's Way. The list goes on for me. I'm listening to weird stuff now. So.
What about you? No pressure.
For me, I'm mostly about the rock. So I'm thinking of a band from Pittsburgh called Probot. It's like a rock band, like a 4-piece rock band. I like that a lot. So I like the rock. I like the 80s. So to me, the best offshoot from any metal band was Helicopters. You got Entomb, Helicopters. I like that style of like rock.
Nice.
That's my shit.
Monty also likes side bands from Queens of the Stone Age bass player. And I like Baroness. I think Baroness is the most hippie bang for your buck if you want to have like a psychedelic rock album. I like what they're doing, and I like that the singer from Baroness, I think he was in the army or in Iraq and he's seen real action, so he probably has a lot of emotion and stories to sing about. So kudos to him.
All right. Any last shout outs, closing comments?
Closing comments, support brutal underground death metal.
In conclusion.
Yes. The question is moot. The question is moot. James Brown wants to
All right, this has been Savage Annie. This has been Malignancy. Thank you guys so much.
That was awesome.
Really appreciate it. You guys killed it yesterday.
Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
We're out.